The number 11 of Ben Sabowski, Ross Krajek in the 16B, and Toby Wibito in the 25. 8 cars make up your first heat race of the night. So we go green. 6 laps the distance here tonight. And we'll see if we call that one back or not. It's the 515 of John Bix. He jumped out to a pretty good hole shot there, so we will bring out the yellow flag here. All right, so green flag's out once again. Heat race number 1 for your Bombers. 6 laps the distance here tonight for the 3 heat races for your Robert Horn Ford Bombers as they roll off into turn number 1. It will be Brandon Varney with the race lead, that number 22, that silver car, as they go 3 wide now. Matt Guile up top, Wayne Dunsworth in the middle, John Bickey's to the inside, that 515. It's going to be him and Toby Wibito now actually splitting the field as they almost go 4 wide with Ben Sabowski, Rick Hughes, Dunsworth, and Guile, as they're all sorts of beating and banging back behind the top 3. It is Varney, Bickey's, and Wibito, as Wibito now goes top shelf on the 515 of Bix. He'll take over that second spot. Does Toby Wibito now look to the outside of Brandon Varney. Side by side with him now in turn number 3. Toby Wibito, a very fast hot rod here tonight in the early going of heat race number 1. And he will lead lap number 2. Toby Wibito, a lap time of 22.675. Brandon Varney with a lap time of 23.470. Man, or 460. And man, he made it look like Varney was just sitting still. Did the 25 of Toby Wibito. So he's your race leader down the back straightaway entering turn number 3 with Varney in that second spot, trying to hold off the charge from the 515 of Bix. Here comes Rick Hughes now in the number 7 machine, as well as the 16B of Ross Krajak. He's going to go top side on Rick Hughes. That's battle for 4th on track. They stay side by side into turn number 1 with Krajak up top, Hughes down low. Bix has a little bit of a wiggle in turn number 2. Allowed Rick Hughes to close the gap on him. Hughes and Krajak might have made some contact there coming from turn number 2. Those cars lost a lot of momentum to Varney in the 515 of Bix, as Toby Wibito continues to show the way out front right now by a full 2 seconds. Is the 25 of Toby Wibito. It's Varney, Bix, and now Ross Krajak to the inside of the 515 of Bix. He'll take over the 3rd spot. Rick Hughes going to try to move into 4th now over that red number 515 of Bix. Couldn't quite do anything with him, though, as Varney still in 2nd. Krajak trying to set up his move as the white flag flies this time for Toby Wibito. White flag in the air as Krajak looks once again down to the inside of the 22 of Varney. A little bit of smoke coming out of that backside of that 22. Might just been a tire rub, though. As Ross Krajak now once again down to his inside, down the back straightaway, trying to take over 2nd. Not going to have anything for your race leader, Toby Wibito, as he comes off a turn number 4. Checker flag will be in the air for him. He'll win heat race number 1. And at the line off of turn 4, it's going to be Varney hanging on to that 2nd position of Ross Krajak, John Bix, and Rick Hughes. As we get ready to rock and roll, green flag in the air, we're underway. And Don Berner, number 14, Bomber Don, always the fast one out here at Arizona Speedway to the point, and he is driving away from Jacob Mabbitt and the number 2 machine of Kevin Cunningham. As they race off of turn number 4, Berner will lead lap number 1. That's going to be the number 2 machine of Cunningham, followed by the 28 of Mabbitt, with Jim Hawk right now in 4th. 5th is Jason Knuppel. He'll just trying to hold off the charge from Colby Olivet in that number 22 injury as they race off of turn number 4. Or turn number 2, excuse me, as Don Berner already entering turn number 4 is number 14. You look at the lap times. Don Berner putting down here at the line, completing lap number 2. He just ran a 22.108. Second fastest was your 2nd driver on the racetrack, 22.222 from Jacob Mabbitt, who moves up 1 spot, now trying to clear Kevin Cunningham in the number 2. He will do that off of turn number 2. So Mabbitt with a pretty sporty hot rod here tonight as well. So moving to that 2nd spot over Cunningham. Jim Hawk behind Cunningham in 4th. 5th, another side-by-side battle starting to brew as Colby Olivet looks to the inside of Chase Knuppel. They head into turn number 1. That orange and blue is number 72, former track champion out here at Arizona Speedway a few years back. Right now hanging on to that 5th spot over the 32A of Olivet as top 4 right now strung out. Single file. About a 2nd gap between every driver on track. Those top 4 at least, with Berner, Mabbitt, Cunningham, and Hawk. As Knuppel still hanging on to that 5th spot over the 32A of Olivet. They got Hommel and Nicola rounding out your field as white flag flies for Bomber Don. Papa Smurf heads into turn number 1 right now with a 1.2 second lead over the 28 machine of Jacob Mabbitt. He comes off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Going to use that middle groove through turns 3 and 4. Checker flag will be out this time for the 14. It will be Don Berner picking up the win here in heat race number 2. Jacob Mabbitt come off of turn number 4 with a weird angle right there. Still finishes in second. Followed by Kevin Cunningham in the 2, Jim Hawk in the 16, and Jace Knoopel rounds out your top 5. Final 6-lap heat race for your Bombers. It's underway. And it will be the outside row prevailing with Brian Hyatt in the 4H to the top spot, entering turn number 1 as Caden Brigner now trying to hold off Randy Booth in the number 3. He will do that for a moment now down the back straightaway. Off of turn 2 into turn number 3, Caden Brigner now driving away from Booth as Matt Guile looks to the inside of 3. Randy Booth, a little contact maybe right there between Booth and Guile. And here comes the 87 Jag of John Gary from 7th all the way up to 2nd as Brian Hyatt leads lap number 1. It's going to be Hyatt, Gary, and Brigner your top 3. Then they go 3 wide behind him. You got the 13 of Jacob Strite, the 3 of Booth, and the 8 UD of Matt Guile back behind the wheel of his 8 UD here this weekend after letting Aaron Collier have some fun in the dirt last week and win the main event. It's Guile back in that 8 UD holding off the 17 of Jaden Popes. Of course, that 17 car looks familiar. It used to be a 53 car with Ross Krajak behind the wheel. Ross sold his car to Jaden. Now Ross driving the 16B here in the Bomber class as Caden Brigner now starting to put some good laps together in that 0X. He's pulled right back to the back bumper of John Gary, who now looks top shelf over your race leader, Brian Hyatt. They go side by side into turn number 1. Hyatt trying to hold off the charge from the 87 Jag. Can't quite do it. So from 7th to 1st, it will be John Gary taking over the top spot here, heading into turn number 3. Through turns 3 and 4, Caden Brigner now looks to the outside of Hyatt. Both those cars have a little bit of slip of the grip right there, but it will be Caden Brigner taking over 2nd on the top side of the racetrack. Now here comes Jacob Strite along with it. So Brian Hyatt starting to fall off the pace here just a bit. He went from 1st to 4th in all about 1 lap. Now he'll slam the door hard on the number 3 machine of Randy Booth, cut off his momentum as Booth right now riding around that 5th spot. Caden Brigner gives a little shot to the backside of John Gary as the white flag flies. We got a battle for this heat race win here with 1 more lap. Will it be the rookie, Caden Brigner? Will it be John Gary or Jacob Strite as they race off at turn number 2? Brigner going to try to diamond off that corner. Might just lost a little bit there as that car got loose. Here comes Jacob Strite now to his outside. Strite to the outside of Caden Brigner. Caden going to drive it in deep into turn number 3. John Gary comes off a 4. He will win heat race number 3 over Strite and Brigner. Hyatt comes home in 4th and Randy Booth 5th.